A series of upper-level disturbances will bring scattered areas of showers and storms to our region over the next few days. Dew points in the low to mid-60s and daytime highs reaching 80s to near 90 means keeping relatively higher Cape values across the region over the next few days. So some of these storms could be strong to severe as we run through the week. And the upper-level pattern doesn't show any kind of major changes for our area through the extended forecast, which means other than some scattered showers and storms, there's really no major storms in the forecast. Hello and welcome to Region Weather Live, your online YouTube source for weather across the Dakotas and Minnesota. I am meteorologist Brad Warner. And yeah, we have a number of little impulses out there that want to affect our region. We got one kind of rolling through the eastern Dakotas and northwestern Minnesota right now. We've got one a little bit further back that kind of runs through Saskatchewan and into Montana. That'll help affect some of our area once again as we get to later in the day on Tuesday. And then we've got one even further back beyond that. So we'll kind of step through these here through the time period. But you can basically see this area here through the nighttime and into Tuesday morning just kind of lingers along. We've got this other one that I mentioned earlier that's coming eastward and kind of blends in with this other area that just kind of sits out here. And so what that's going to do as we get to later in the day on Tuesday is allow not only some storms up in through here, but some storms to develop a little bit further back as this impulse kind of marches its way eastward through the day on Tuesday. Now that system kind of will continue to roll through the east. Now here comes the next one. Next one kind of rolls through portions of North Dakota as we get into Wednesday. And that pushes southeastward. And you can see that thing really start to dumbbell and kind of close off a little bit as we get later in the day on Thursday, which means some of these areas, again, even into southern parts of Minnesota, might continue to have the possibility, at least, of some strong to severe weather as well. As I said in the beginning, the dew points just kind of hang around in the 60s, especially across eastern Dakotas and in through Minnesota, a little bit into western North Dakota as we get into Wednesday and Wednesday night and into Thursday as well. So that'll help set off some storms later there as we get a little bit into the next couple of days. But yeah, we're looking at some decent dew points kind of sticking around, which along with temperatures reaching the 80s to near 90 in some areas. Of course, we're going to have Cape values well over 2,500 joules per kilogram. If you haven't heard me say it already, Cape values, joules per kilogram, the higher the values, it's kind of like more powder in the keg. So the more explosive some of these storms can become if they're able to light off. So anything basically I say over 1,200 is enough. And once you get into the 2,500 or 3,000, you're dealing with some pretty good storms, possibly, if they're able to get going. Of course, that all relates to other things as well, including upper level winds and upper level temperatures as well. But here you can see as we get later in the day on Tuesday, we've got some higher Cape values remaining into eastern North Dakota, northwest Minnesota. And that kind of, of course, fizzles out as we get into the evening hours and then resets once again a little bit once we get into Wednesday for portions of Minnesota and eastern Dakotas as well. So we have high Cape values, but what we really don't have is any wind with it. As we're taking a look at the upper level winds, we're looking at, here we're looking at about 15,000 feet in the air at the 500 millibar level. And this is kind of one of those levels we really look for when we're looking for some good spin in the atmosphere. And there's just not a whole lot. Now, there's some 20 to 30 knot winds, and that's just not great. Now, with that said, even with that, as we're taking a look at some of the winds here, as we look into Monday evening into central parts of North Dakota, we had a northwest wind at that level, only at 20 knots. But yet somehow we were able to spark and get a tornado touchdown between Minot and Bismarck on Monday, late Monday afternoon into Monday evening. So not impossible, just because some of these storms can just kind of take on their own little environment and make it what it is. That one was very short-lived because the winds just aren't there. So the chance of any tornadic activity just isn't great. But it just kind of goes to show you that you get the right storm that can get strong enough, quick enough, and it creates its own environment, can spin up real brief, and then that's it. But so with all that being said, really not looking for any type of tornadic activity. What we're really looking at, because the winds are so light, and we're looking at some higher Cape values above 2,500, mainly the main threat's going to be some hail and possibly some stronger winds as well. All right, so where are these storms going to fire? Well, just because we've got this wave that's coming through and basically going to be affecting anybody out ahead of that. So into northern parts of Minnesota, far eastern parts of North Dakota and South Dakota as well. Kind of anywhere within that region through the overnight hours and into Tuesday morning could see the possibility of some scattered storms through the overnight hours and early parts of Tuesday morning. Now, the best area to possibly see some stronger storms, maybe severe. I don't know if we're going to see anything severe through the overnight hours just because we don't have that heating involved. But anything that would be a little bit on the stronger side, it looks like the best chance will be northeastern North Dakota, northwestern Minnesota through the overnight hours and the early parts of Tuesday morning. As we run through Tuesday and right into Tuesday afternoon, right around that noon time frame, you can see where some storms could still be. Really anywhere in through here, I would say, has got the possibility of at least an isolated storm, isolated to scattered storm. I don't think at this point, really, we're probably going to be expecting anything strong to severe yet. I don't believe by the noon hour. But as we get a little bit later into the afternoon and we allow some of those temperatures to sort of warm up, we're looking at the possibility of maybe some stronger storms in through northern parts of Minnesota by around 3 or 4. And then really as we get a little bit later in the day after 4 o'clock or so, we've got some storms that want to develop a little bit further back. Now the models are fair agreement to this. So do look for some storms a little bit further back in through southern parts of North Dakota, northern parts of South Dakota as well. And so any of these in through here will have the possibility of being strong to severe. The main threat being some hail up to 1 inch and some 60-mile-per-hour winds associated with that. And then as we get into the evening hours, probably after 9 or so, those storms will really begin to wind down as the heating of the day is lost. Now, again, you still see some scattered activity through the overnight hours, Tuesday night and into Wednesday. And then here we are Wednesday morning, right around 7 a.m., when we still have some scattered activity in through portions of Minnesota. And then we've got this other disturbance that rolls through and brings some scattered showers into western North Dakota by the morning hours. As we get later in the day on Wednesday, some more showers and storms into the Dakotas and northeastern parts of Minnesota. Again, some of these in through here, in through North Dakota especially, could be strong to severe. It's same type of thing. Main threat's going to be 1 inch hail, maybe some 60-mile-per-hour winds. Here you might still see some smaller hail. It's going to be kind of bordering on that severe line up in the northeastern parts of Minnesota. But that would be about it. So real hit and miss type of activity, nothing concrete, nothing where it's just going to be this big line sweeping through. It's just going to be these pulsing storms where, one could be strong to severe and then it'll kind of decay and then another one will pop up a little bit later somewhere else. And so it's really going to be hard to say where exactly and when exactly, but just kind of keep in mind with these areas that I've been outlining, you've got the possibility of seeing some scattered activity throughout the next couple of days, and a storm or two might be severe. Now, as we get into Thursday, we continue to have another little impulse that kind of rolls through the area, bringing some scattered showers and storms across eastern Dakotas and in through Minnesota. Now, the best area for any type of maybe some severe activity would be kind of along the southern edge, the southern portion of Minnesota, southeastern parts of South Dakota. Again, where we're looking at the possibility of some hail and some stronger winds. Hail probably being the main threat still as we get into later in the day, Thursday evening, Thursday night time frame. And then beyond that, as this kind of closed low kind of dumbbells around a little bit for a few days, once we get into Friday, we will probably see some scattered showers and storms still remaining on Friday. And then even into Saturday, we may see some scattered showers still, mainly across Minnesota for those couple of days, maybe eastern parts of the Dakotas as well. But then once that area kind of finally moves on out later in the day on Saturday, it looks like Sunday will be one of the drier days across the entire region. Again, once this area of low pressure moves out, it's kind of more of the same. We just get these weak little impulses that kind of sweep through our area. We've got, maybe a couple of drier days in the beginning of next week, but other than that, maybe some scattered showers and storms that kind of move through. But really no big change expected in the forecast or in the pattern, at least, as we get into even next week. So nothing real big, no real big changes along the way, just your kind of maybe your typical late summer, early fall boring type of pattern. And if you didn't see the videos or pictures of that tornado that touched down kind of in between that Minot and Bismarck area, there's a nice picture from Josh OKNFEFSKI on Twitter. I retweeted it. There's a number of retweets that I did on there. There's also a few videos. If you go ahead and take a look at my Twitter page at RegionWX, you can find it there. But yeah, that was kind of one of those weird things, folks, where man, just you wouldn't expect it on a day like today, given the atmospheric conditions, but just goes to show you just never know. And thank you to everybody who had sent me suggestions out what to do in Duluth. It was very picturesque. It was beautiful. Love going up there. There's me and two of my girls. I've got an older one in college. Unfortunately, we were missing her this time around, but yeah, that was a very pretty area up in Duluth. Highly recommend going up there, and we had some great food while we were there. That was a lot of fun. So thank you everybody who gave me suggestions. And so that's what I've got for you today. Make sure you just kind of keep an eye on the weather a little bit over the next couple of days, especially if you are in that eastern Dakotas into Minnesota area, as there might be the potential for a strong to severe storm over the next day or so. And then especially as we get into Thursday in that southern Minnesota area, just keep an eye on for some severe storms there as well. So we will try and keep up with it as much as we can. Keep an eye on the Facebook and Twitter. We will be posting things on there when I can, when we do notice stuff. And as always, if anybody's got any pictures or videos, please send them my way as well. For Region Weather Live, I am meteorologist Brad Warner. Everybody have a good day.